Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. We're on to Week 10 NFL over-under picks. And Lawson, we got to just start by, again, we tell everybody we've been winning on Thursday night. Go with Oakland. Everybody called us stupid.
Yeah, well, and then we said Phillip Rivers was done 3-4 weeks ago. Got a lot of hate for it, but at least we had some subscribers go back and eat crow because that was a terrible performance. There's no other way to put it. And if you're defending Phillip Rivers, it's just pure nostalgia. You got the blinders on, it's like that woman who cheated on you 6 years ago, but you still love her. It's becoming a little bit weird now. It's becoming a little bit Stockholm syndrome. And if one of the worst secondaries in the league picks you off 3, probably should have been 4 times, like you said pre-show, I think it's time to take a step back and maybe get Tyrod Taylor a little bit warm.
Yeah, I think that they actually should, just to see what he can do. I think it actually would be exciting to see him move around, and maybe the run game would even benefit from Tyrod Taylor starting. But, I think people are just holding on to Rivers because he's a good guy, and he's got the look of a franchise quarterback, and he's been around a long time. People don't want to see him go. But
even that deep pass to Mike Williams last night, people thought I was joking when it says it looks like he punts the ball.
Yeah.
Every single ball he throws just loops up like a punt, and it stays up 6 seconds. That's not how you throw a deep pass. And if he can't make those passes anymore, then he needs to go.
There was even few 10-yard routes, drag routes where it was one-on-one coverage and he was just late getting it to the receiver and the ball gets batted down in tight coverage.
And then now I hear people blaming the Chargers O-line. Like, we know the Chargers O-line has problems, but come on, Giff. We can move on to over-unders, but I'm not accepting that blame.
No, I mean, there was one sack where Rivers, all he had to literally do was step up to the right a little bit, and he could have did whatever he wanted to, but he just doesn't move.
Yeah.
And you got to be a little mobile, and he's on his way out, and he's just getting old to the point where he can't play quarterback anymore. He's not agile, and you have to be in this league. Nobody has a perfect offensive line. Even the Patriots, their offensive line this year
it's terrible.
Isn't very good. So we can't even hear that excuse anymore. Patriots O-line, no. So with that, we'll go Kansas City at Tennessee, the over-under 49.5.
Man, if Pat Mahomes plays, this goes over. I know it looks like under right now, but we don't know if Pat Mahomes is playing.
He is playing.
He is playing for sure.
He is playing.
Give me the over, Giff. It's just a thing I do when I see Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. But this Titans defense is good. But is this Titans fountain of goodwill running out? I mean, are they due just for a straight-up collapse? Maybe you have under. I didn't see. Maybe you have under because you think Tennessee's going to do fuck all on offense.
Yeah, that's why I have under. Yeah. And it's not because of Tannehill, because he's actually been doing his job for the most part. But, again, if they're going to have miscommunication on offense, not understanding their talent, plus if their skill position players are going to make mistakes, like if A.J. Brown's going to pop a ball up into the air and have it being intercepted after a good pass from Tannehill, or if they're going to continue to put Dion Lewis on the field to stall their offense, I don't care how good Derrick Henry is. I don't care how good the defense is. Kansas City will take care of business in this game. I just don't expect much from Tennessee, so I'm going under in that. And with that, we'll go to Buffalo at Cleveland, the over-under at 40.
Giff, I'm going over, a surprising over. I don't know how much Baker Mayfield's able to do. I don't know how much Josh Allen's going to be able to do, but I see this game being 21-17, so I'm going over, but please don't bet this.
Yeah, I'm going to go over in this game too. I know we went with Buffalo to win the game, but I feel like Cleveland is going to get something going offensively. They just have too
they're going to turn it over. That will lead to point. Well, no, they will turn it over. Okay, they will. Especially playing against a good defense, they will. That will create points.
And then I think, too, with Nick Chubb, I mean, we could see him having a couple big runs.
Is Kareem Hunt coming back this week?
He apparently there is a spot for him, and they're going to have a role for him.
But then again, do they have enough strategy or planning to even utilize him properly at this point?
I don't think so, because they have plenty of talent as it stands. And Freddie Kitchens doesn't know how to use it.
I mean, you could add Joe Montana to that roster. I don't know if it's changing.
It probably wouldn't, because he's got guys running in all different directions without any reason to it. But I'm going over it because I think Cleveland does a little bit offensively. And then Buffalo, I just feel you know, again, this Cleveland defense isn't great, so I think Buffalo could do something because of that. And they are still kind of trying to find their way. They're trying to get more comfortable with running the football and picking when they throw it.
And make sure you guys check out our Vegas spread picks. We pick those every single Tuesday. Subscribe, hit the like button.
And with that, we'll go to Arizona at Tampa, the over-under 52.
Yeah, man, don't you have to go under here? Arizona's defense has been playing better. Kyler Murray has been playing better, but that Arizona offense really isn't all that explosive. They're more like accumulated. They more hit you with body shots all games than big plays. I think the score remains pretty low, even though Tampa can't stop anyone. And then when you look at Tampa Bay, this offense is hit or miss. I'm going under. I actually love this under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under as well. This is tough for me, though, because we've seen Tampa explode. And that gets me a little bit nervous because, you know, this Arizona defense, we've seen the good and the bad from it. So we don't know what we're really going to get. But with Winston, with his mistakes, I don't really see them putting together 2 good weeks. They really have never been able to.
Come on.
So because of that, and you're right, Arizona, it's like they methodically through the game, they pick their shots. They don't blow anybody out. So I like the under in that too. And with that, we'll go to the Giants at the Jets, over under 44.5.
Don't bet this, please. I'm going over. Giff, I don't even want to talk about this game.
There's not much about this that I can say. I think the Jets have completely mailed it in. I think they're just demoralized.
And betting on teams that have mailed it in just isn't smart.
No, it's
like it really isn't.
I just think there's going to be points in this game though because of the deficiencies of both teams. Normally, I would say the Jets defense might have a shot, but I just feel like they've mailed it in. And with that, we'll go to Atlanta at New Orleans, the over/under 51.5.
Wow, Giff, I got to go over because I think Atlanta does something finally, but I wouldn't bet on this. But you got to think Matt Ryan back, Atlanta, they might put up 20, 24 points, but also how many points is their defense going to give up? Saints are going over 30 here, so I kind of have to go over.
I have to go under only because that New Orleans defense at home. I mean, Atlanta, what have they really shown us? You know, when can they score points? Against Seattle when the game's already over.
But I mean,
against Arizona,
I know they haven't scored a lot of points. They put up a lot of yards, but then against Matt Ryan needs to not be Matty Melt in the red zone.
And just the way this New Orleans defense has been playing, though, that D-line.
It's scary.
So I got to go under there. And we'll go to Baltimore next at Cincinnati, the over-under 44.5. And everybody's like, look, all right, I'm not betting this game, but everybody's acting like Baltimore is easily going to blow out Cincinnati. I think people are getting...
Well, those are the ebb and tides, Giff. We heard earlier in the year Baltimore was going to win the Super Bowl before the Browns beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
So, Giff, I'm going under, though. This Baltimore offense... It just doesn't scare me at all. It doesn't scare me. And Cincinnati had a good performance last week. And then you also have to look at the perspective of, well, how many points is Ryan Finley going to be able to manage? I'm over under 10 on that. So I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm going under as well slightly. And I just think it could be a 24-10 game. Could be 24-14 game.
Yeah.
I just don't
I think 44 is a bit high, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't expect much offensively from really either side. I think Baltimore just does enough to win. And with that, we'll go to Carolina at Green Bay, the over-under 47.
Yeah, Giff, this has to be over, right? I mean, Carolina has to have a response. Green Bay has to have a response, Giff.
Some kind of a response.
They're not going to come out and get their ass kicked again like they did against the Chargers. We'll see how healthy Devontae Adams is. But one thing we know is Christian McCaffrey is going to be running on that Packers front seven. He's going to be going gangbusters. Go over here. I
really like the over in this. I think we've found the formula to beat Green Bay's defense as it stands. We've mentioned those linebackers this week already. You can get your tight ends involved. I think Greg Olsen gets involved in this game. McCaffrey as well, too. I think they eat a lot. Allen hasn't been terrible for Carolina. Still not overly impressed with him, but he's shown some resemblance of a quarterback. And then Green Bay, I think that, especially with Bradbury being a little bit injured, I think Aaron Rodgers will have a decent day in this game. And with that, we'll go to Detroit at Chicago, the over-under 41.5.
If I got to go under, but then again, I think the Bears scraped 17 points in this game. But it's just a matter of what the Lions do. But this Bears offense is really, really, really terrible. It's really terrible. So I'm going under by default. No one really knows what the hell is going to happen in this game. And if they tell you, don't believe them.
Yeah, I would stay away from it. I'm going to go over only because I think about Matt Patricia and I think about him being the first one to really give up something to Chicago.
Oh, God.
Because eventually Chicago's going to do a little something, not a lot. I thought maybe in that Philly game Chicago could earn
the second
something.
half they did play good, but this Mitch Trubisky thing, we've been trying to say it for 2.5, 3 years. It just isn't working. No. It's the bottom 3, bottom 4 offense in the league.
No doubt about it. And with that, we'll go to Miami at Indy, the over-under 44.
Giff, I'm going over. I think Indy's offense gets working against a really, really terrible Miami defense. And then also, Fitzpatrick's been hot. He's been hot the last 2 weeks. Now, is that going to last? I don't think too long, but I think he does enough. Although Jacoby Brissett, is he playing?
It looks like he is going to play.
Yeah, give me over here, Giff. Give me over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well, too. And it really is from a Miami side.
Yeah.
They have started to play a little bit better. And I'm almost at the point where, depending on T.Y. Hilton's health, that's something that we got to look at, too. But if T.Y. Hilton ends up being out, I think Miami maybe could
cover.
Yeah, maybe could cover. If Brissett wasn't playing, I would think Miami might actually have a chance to win. But with Brissett playing, they might cover.
This Hoyer thing, Giff, come on now. Like, I know people like to say he's like a respectable backup, but come on, man, he's trash.
He's a backup. That's it. No, nothing more, nothing less. He can scrape out, a win, maybe in that Pittsburgh game. We saw that, and what he could do a little bit, but that's as much as you're going to get from him. Not a whole lot. And with that, we'll go to the Rams at the Steelers, the over-under 44.
Yeah, man, this is really tough, and this game, even the spread was really tough to pick. But since I'm picking the Rams to win in the cover, that means their offense gets going. But we love the Steelers' defense, though. So that's where it makes it tough. I'm going over, but tentatively, because we can never really trust what Pittsburgh will do on offense, although we know this Rams defense has been in disarray. And you can pound it, and you can also go over the top on them. Rudolph isn't all that bad. He's starting to play a little bit better. This goes over.
In this game, I have to go under, but I will say that I'm really intrigued by this game, and I don't know what's going to happen because Pittsburgh, their defense at home, are the Rams at where they need to be at offensively? I don't think we've seen it yet. Pittsburgh's defense is no joke. So I think that Rams might be underwhelming in this game.
Yeah, well, that's possible. Are you picking an upset? I forgot from Tuesday.
No, Rams still to win.
Okay.
But the Steelers, I think they could possibly pull this out. It's because
I don't know if McVay's going to really get this team in third or fourth gear. It just seems like their first, second gear all year, and this whole Gurley thing. You said last year, week 14, you didn't think he would be that dude anymore, and it's kind of coming to fruition. He hasn't been that dude. I don't know why everyone thinks that he's going to go off like he used to. He's not even working in the pass game anymore. I mean, we can talk about the run game with Gurley, but the thing that really blew me away was his ability to work in the pass game. And then when the field got tight in the red zone, he just pretty much plowed through people. Now a guy like Latavius Murray is a better red zone runner than him. There's so many questions about the Rams, but it all starts with Gurley, and the teams that play them know is really the only way Goff is going to cook you is on the play action, and everyone's adjusted. And where the hell has Brandon Cooks been this year?
I know.
What has he done?
And now he's been hurt recently, and it's an issue. And also the offensive line. I'm not saying they're playing terrible. It's not their fault that the team is at where they're at right now. It's just that they were so good last year, it was overwhelming, and now we're not seeing that.
It was overwhelming. It was like 3 years ago with Dallas, you know, how good their offensive line was last year. Whitworth is still nasty, but, man, you lose Saffold and you lose a guard. It just looks like it's really diminished.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the offensive line was still playing at that level, they could get by with Gurley being a little bit banged up or not being what he was. But it's just too much now for them to overcome. And with that, we'll go to Minnesota at Dallas, the over-under 48.
Jeff, I'm going over here, and my instincts tell me to go under. But, man, this Minnesota defense gives up at least 21, 24 a game. And then I think this Dallas defense is due to capitulate as well. I think, actually, you know what? I want to go under, though. I'm going to go under. I think it's a slow-paced game. But this is one I really have no idea on. I only have an idea of who's going to win, the Minnesota Vikings. But over-under for this is kind of fruitless because Dallas is really inconsistent. And unfortunately, the Vikings are hella inconsistent as well.
Well, and I'll be fair to our fans, too, because I starred the Carolina-Green Bay game going over. I feel good about that. I feel really good about this one going under.
Ah, okay. Because you think Dallas is going to struggle on offense.
Well, yeah. And unless Zimmer has a terrible coaching outing, which...
It's possible, but Jason Garrett isn't one of those dudes where he gets like... where he melts down, so that helps.
It's not Andy Reid. It's not anything crazy.
It's not even Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Like, we see him melt down against Nagy, or, you know.
We saw it this year,
Yeah. I was surprised he beat Doug Pederson this year. But luckily he hit the Eagles at the right time.
Yeah, with all the injuries in the secondary. But, yeah, I'm not impressed with Dak Prescott. I'm not going to forget that in a couple weeks because they play a couple bad teams like the Giants. That's not going to get me excited. I think
you're hating on the Giants, Gaff.
I think that this Vikings defense... You know, they're fully healthy. I think they get it done. I don't know why people are trying to say, like, Minnesota's going to have a hard time in this game or that there's injuries on the defense. What injuries on the defense? They're ready to go.
Yeah, I think Trey Waynes is a little bit banged up, but I don't really see any injuries.
This game, I mean, I got it started. I think Minnesota wins and covers this. I think it goes under. I think it's going to be a dominant victory by Minnesota.
Well, Kirk Cousins, too, though. You always got to throw in that ace of spade joker card.
Certainly, but they should be able to run the ball in this game.
Yeah,
the linebackers are good for Dallas.
Well, and isn't Van Der Esch a little bit hurt too? So maybe that will help. Although Dallas doesn't have anyone at DT that really makes me scared. That's why I think it's effective. And then we thought Dallas would be better rushing the passer this year. I mean, from what you've seen, no. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence has had, maybe one or two good games. The rest of the time, he's just kind of, pedestrian.
Yeah, and then they were desperate enough to trade for Michael Bennett, and nothing against that, but...
That's desperate. No, I got something against it. Come on, that was desperate.
Yeah, he doesn't have much left.
The fact that we didn't get on here and talked about it just shows how much that man's fallen off.
Yeah, he's been a non-factor for...
Two and a half years, yeah.
And with that, we'll wrap it up with Seattle at the 49ers, the over-under 47, another game that is exciting.
Yeah, Giff, I'm going over because, man, I'm not saying San Fran's not a top 10 defense, and I'm not saying that defense doesn't start with that front four. I don't even talk about the front seven to me, but defense starts with that front four. It's the most important factor, and San Fran might have the best front four in the league. Yeah. They certainly have probably the most dominant D lineman this year in the Bosa brother. But, man, eventually they're going to get up against a quarterback like Russell America Wilson, and he's going to matriculate it deep on guys who can't run like Akella Witherspoon and Richard Sherman. There will be points this game, but also there might be a ton of points on the San Fran side, just pounding it at a Jello-like front seven for Seattle. Go over here. Yeah. The more I think, I see you got a star next to it. Mm-hmm. The more I think about it, I'm pretty damn sure about it.
Yeah, it was the third one I started, and yeah, Lawson, I agree. I think Shanahan, the way Tampa was able to put up points against Seattle, I gotta believe that Shanahan can cook up something with everybody healthy, with Emmanuel Sanders, the missing element, that now with him in the fold.
Yeah, if that was the missing element, I mean, I know you want that trophy, you want that Antonio Brown, you wanted that Odell Beckham, but you know, I know what? Maybe Emmanuel Sanders is just better than him because he just does his job and he's quiet, and he won't bitch if he only gets 4 targets. I mean, maybe it is better just to have him at this point, and then you still get that elite dude with Kittle, even though Kittle is really, really corny, by the way.
Oh, I know.
He really is corny, though, but still really damn good at what he does. He provides that Gronk factor.
Yeah, he does. And Emmanuel Sanders, there's a million things I could say good about him. The route running, the speed, the hands, all of that. But definitely a missing element. I love the way Shanahan's using him. And then Seattle, you mentioned Russell Wilson. You know, a great D-line with the 49ers, but Wilson can move.
Yeah.
He can manipulate to the point where he can throw it down the field. I'm interested to see how they use Josh Gordon. I mean, obviously it didn't work out in New England, but we've seen other players have issues in New England before too and be successful elsewhere. I think Gordon can maybe help this team a little bit. Metcalf has been okay, but not where I think Gordon might be.
Is Josh Gordon going to play?
Pete Carroll said he's gravitating towards that Monday.
Well, and the thing with Metcalf is he's really, really raw. And the only time we've really seen him do anything is in the red zone, which is fine. I mean, we saw Plexico Burress at age 36 be dominant in the red zone and not be able to do anything else. So it helps. I mean, you look at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they get to the red zone every single drive, and they ended up churning it over or kicking a field goal. So it is important, but you're right. If Seattle needed Josh Gordon, but also they need some defensive linemen.
They do. That's, I guess, even more the reason why this will go over.
Yeah, it's going over, man. I would be shocked if this doesn't go over. And you know how conservative I am with telling people to bet it. I mean, over-unders aren't my thing, but if I didn't bet soccer, man, it'd be tough for me to lay off this.
I would say the only way that it wouldn't go over is if the 49ers defense really does dominate up front and then not let Russell Wilson do what he does.
But you run the rock, you do play action, you get Russell on the outside, and then also when it gets to the third and fourth quarter, those big uglies on the defensive line will get a little bit slower, and that's when Russell really starts to go off. I mean, if he has an ankle injury or something we don't know about, bet under, please. They might not get over 10 points because you know what happens to Seattle if Russell Wilson is dinged up in the ankle, thigh, knee area because he's not Superman. He needs to be able to move a little bit. But from what I know, he's healthy and he's going to tear some shit up.
All right, and with that, make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe.